Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in this lovely world. My name is B. I'm a 19-year-old from the Midwest, and I came out as non-binary. Yep, and I'm really nervous to make this video, but that's okay. If you follow me on any social media, you know that I have been using she, they, her pronouns for a while now. And yesterday, I finally decided that I was going to stop using she, her for the comfort of everybody else and only use they, them because I wanted to put myself first. Since then, I've gotten a lot of questions. So today on I Love You So Big episode 5, we're going to talk about being non-binary and queer. Since I came out, I've had a lot of questions, and I figured I would answer some of the biggest ones that I've gotten. Also, if you hear any outside noises, I live in a dorm. Noises happen. I live right across the hall from the laundry room, so there's always people outside my door. Just like that. I'm really nervous for this, but that's okay. If you're not nervous, you're not doing it right, as per my father. That's what he would tell me. But, so, a question that I primarily get a lot is, how did I know? And one specific one asked me if I've always known. And the answer to that is no, I haven't always known. And I honestly, for me, it was just kind of a feeling. I had, if you follow my TikTok and you have been following for a little bit, then you would know this. I had posted a video asking my followers to use they, them pronouns just so I could see how it felt. And it was in that moment that I knew that that was what needed to happen for me. I felt so much more secure in myself and who I was and who I am, and it just felt absolutely amazing. There's a really important video that I found on TikTok. I found it today, actually, and it is by, I don't want to misgender them or mispronounce their name, but it is Mielaklv. I'm going to insert their video here. It doesn't have any music on it, so it won't get copyrighted, and let you guys watch it.
To clear up some misconceptions about the term non-binary. First, we have to understand that gender as we know it today is an effect of colonization and imperialism, and it's rooted in xenophobia, misogyny, white supremacy, etc. Before Europe colonized the world, non-white societies were aware of other genders and knew that there was no gender binary. The gender binary is that there are two genders, they're opposites, and there's nothing else. But gender is actually a spectrum, which is why the term non-binary doesn't mean that they're gender. That implies that there's a first and second, and that's just not true. The term non-binary is an umbrella term. It encompasses any identity that doesn't conform to the gender binary. Non-binary is a spectrum. Some people are more aligned with men, women, they're right in the middle, or they're fluid. Non-binary does not mean genderless. That's agender. The term non-binary is not new and was not created by Gen Z. Non-binary has existed long before Christianity and colonization. Non-binary people do not have to look androgynous. Non-binary people express themselves in whatever way they want, and that can include looking extremely masculine or feminine. Non-binary people are included in all sexualities. Excluding a non-binary person simply because they're non-binary is transphobic. Non-binary people do not have to use they, them pronouns. Some people use any pronouns, she, her pronouns, he, him pronouns. They, them is not the default.
I feel like this video touches on a lot of good points and makes a lot of good statements that kind of need to be heard. There's a lot of other videos kind of along the same lines. I really just went on TikTok and put in non-binary, and there's all kinds of videos when it comes to that, and it's so awesome to see. You can also do the same thing on YouTube. I feel as though I'm not really the right person to ask certain stuff because I can only go off of my personal experience and not really those around me. And everybody's experience with this kind of thing is different. I have also been asked, how can you be non-binary and present so feminine? And that's something that really frustrates me. Same thing, I get questions the same way with my sexuality. And here's the thing. You don't owe anybody anything when it comes to how you dress and what aligns with your gender identity and sexuality. Clothes don't have a gender, clothes don't have a sexuality. You can wear whatever you want, just wear whatever makes you feel confident in you. I tend to dress more feminine just because that's what makes me feel confident, but there are days when I present more masculine and I wear more masculine-centered clothes and that kind of thing. It just kind of depends on how I feel in the moment, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can wear whatever you want and identify however it makes you feel the best, because at the end of the day, it's for you. It's not for anybody else, it's just for you, and that's literally all that matters, is what you were doing for you. And it kind it rubbed me the wrong way when people ask that kind of thing, because why should it matter? Why should how I dress matter when it comes to my gender and sexuality? It has nothing to do with that. That is so different, so beyond different. I also have gotten the question a lot of, how can you be non-binary and identify as gay? And my answer to that is, I say I'm gay as an umbrella term because I don't like the idea of putting a strict label on my sexuality. I think that not only is gender very, very fluid, but so is sexuality. It's insanely fluid. There's so much to it. It's not just one set thing, and it can change over time, and you go through phases, and you go through growth, and you go through learning, and you learn more about yourself as time goes on. So I don't like the thought of putting a strict label on mine. I don't say I'm a lesbian because I don't primarily like women. I like women and non-binary people primarily. Those are the two biggest for me, and that's just what it is. That's just how it is for me and what makes me feel the best, and what I'm attracted to. So I just use the term gay, or I say that I'm queer, and it's just the easiest for me in my opinion. Another thing I wanted to touch on when it came to clothes is people are so excited to jump on when straight men wear skirts or they wear dresses, and people are like, oh, they're fighting gender norms and blah 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 blah. But as soon as a woman wears a suit, it's kind of the end of the world. Or if someone is non-binary and they present outside of what someone sees as non-binary, it doesn't make any sense to them. Or if a gay man wears a dress or a skirt, it's seen as wrong in some people's eyes, and I don't understand that. How are you going to only cater to one thing and not everything else? It doesn't make any sense to me. Why is it okay in your eyes for a straight man to wear dresses and skirts and it be revolutionary and fighting gender norms, but it's not okay when a woman wears a suit or someone that is non-binary doesn't present androgynous? That, honestly, to me, it doesn't make any sense, and it kind of sucks to hear people talk about that, because if you see it as one way, why don't you see it as the other? That just doesn't make any sense to me at all. 0%. I'm trying to make this to 10 minutes because that's how long these episodes usually are, but I don't script any of this. If you've never seen an I Love You So Big episode, I don't script any of this. I just dive into it, turn my camera on, and get going, and roll with whatever I feel is right and what I should talk about. Coming out as non-binary was kind of terrifying for me in a little bit. It's like people just expect things, you know? And if you don't know who I am, I have a TikTok platform, and that's where my biggest following is at. And I think for me, I used they, her pronouns, and had they, them first, and then she, her, and my preferred pronouns were they, them. But the amount of times that I got called girl or was almost misgendered on a daily basis became a little bit too much for me, and I decided that it was finally time for me to come out and be my true self and come out as non-binary, because it's what's best for me. And that's just something that, you know, I feel like people, if you're on the fence about it, just try it. I saw something that said if you're thinking about it, then you're not cis, because a cis person wouldn't think about that. And I get that, but I also don't at the same time, because I feel like you can question things and you can try different things out and still end up being cis or straight or whatever, because I feel like that's just something that you have to try before you can know for sure. But yeah, I think that's all I really had today. Again, really nervous to make this video. I don't know if I touched on everything I really wanted to touch on, But I hope that this helps somebody, even if it's just one person, and that would be enough for me, for it to just be one person. I recently am going to plug a couple things really quick. Every link that you could ever need from me is down in the description below. It is in my link tree. There's tons of links there from Instagram, TikTok. This necklace that I wear every day, I get questions about that. I have a BLM link that you can check out. I have my business links. Literally everything. I also release merch, and if you watch my podcast religiously, I released I Love You So Big merch. It looks like this. Oh, wrong side. I do this every single time. I do this every time. It looks like this. It's super cute. I've made it as cheap as possible. There's all kinds of things, from hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves. There's a tote bag. There's all kinds of things. I switched to Teespring, so there isn't a time limit on when you guys can get this. This is also going to be linked in the description along with in my link tree, so you can go to either one of those to find that. I'm not making a lot of profit off of those because I price them so low for you guys, because this merch is for you. I'm not worried about the profit I'm going to make. It's for you. It's for you guys. Hoodies are $30, and I think t-shirts range from $20 to $25. I think that sounds about right. Most to everything should have international. I don't know how far international goes with Teespring, but it should have international shipping. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram or leave them in the comments below. I will answer them the best that I can. And I hope you have a great morning, evening, or night wherever you are in this lovely world. And I love you so big. Bye, guys.